Do you want to set effective boundaries naturally whenever you need and in any relationship? If so, this video will teach you this skill in just 3 simple steps. Before we go any further, I'd love to introduce myself. My name is Krista Mazzola Wood, and I'm a licensed relationship therapist and best-selling personal development author. I'm personally in recovery from codependency and complex trauma. To recover, I had to learn how to set consistent, healthy boundaries in my relationships and in my life. These lessons were often hard-earned, and to save you some of your precious time, I want to teach you these lessons very simply. What I learned is to set effective boundaries in any relationship at any time. You simply need to follow 3 steps. The first is that you'll need to identify what you need or want in this relationship. The next is that you will communicate this boundary, this limit that you discovered, with the other person. And finally, you're going to take some time to evaluate how the other person responds once you set this boundary. Let's just call it the ICE method for simplicity. The first step is to take some time to identify what you authentically need and what your boundary is. To do this, you'll want to take some mindful time where you sit with your emotions and your physical sensations. There are uncomfortable emotions and sensations, but there's no bad or wrong emotions. In fact, your emotions are always going to give you invaluable information about what you authentically need in a relationship, what your boundaries are. No one else can decide what your boundaries are. They come from your authentic self. They come from within. Therefore, you really need to sit with yourself and build that self-awareness to decide what you need to communicate with the other person. Once you do this, you can sit with your emotions. You can decide like, oh, you know what? I feel neck tension. That tells me that I need to take some PTO. I need a break from work. I'm too stressed out. Or if you feel anxiety around someone you're dating, maybe you notice, it's telling me that this person's not right for me. Or finally, maybe if you feel irritation around your mom, maybe it means that you need to talk about your career less with her. Again, there's no bad or wrong emotions. It's just information about what you need to communicate with that other person. Once you have identified your limit, then it's the opportunity for you to communicate this with the other person. I know that this is the part of boundary setting that can feel the most intimidating and kind of where we can get stuck and avoid setting those boundaries. But to do this, it does take courage, but you can keep it really simple to help you out. All you'll need to do is follow a simple script anytime once you've identified your boundary. You note the situation to the other person in a very factual way. You express your boundary assertively, kindly, clearly, and then you thank the other person for listening. Try to keep it to just 2 to 3 sentences. This really helps the other person hear you when you keep it simple and direct. It also helps you from watering down your message or your needs. You have a right to your needs. You have a right to your boundaries. And by communicating your limits, you're laying the foundation for a healthy relationship with someone else, for deeper intimacy, deeper connection, and more safety. Those are all amazing things. It's actually super loving to set boundaries. And so you can use this simple script in any relationship at any time. You just adjust it for the situation. For example, with your mom, you may say, I know you worry about me, but I need some time to figure out my career on my own without talking about it with you. Thank you for respecting this. That's simple. Or with your partner, you may say, I notice you've been working late a lot and I really appreciate your efforts, but I need more quality time with you. I appreciate your understanding. Or for another example, you could just let that person know, I know that we've been dating for a few months, but something feels a little off in our connection and I'm going to need to end this relationship. Thank you for understanding. And so finally, the last step of the ICE method is to evaluate. This is the part of boundary setting that I think can be even scarier than communicating it, because once you set a boundary, you can't decide or control how someone else responds to you. I know that this is super scary, but you gain an invaluable opportunity to assess, to evaluate if someone is safe or unsafe for you objectively. A safe person will respect your boundaries. They may seek to compromise with you to honor their own needs, and you'll negotiate what is flexible for you. You'll compromise on what you can, but not the non-negotiables, for you to be safe for them. But ultimately, they respect your boundaries. For example, your partner may say that they respect that you want more quality time with you, but that they're on a deadline. And so they might ask for a little bit of grace for the next month and then say, hey, why don't we schedule a weekend trip and get away to get some really good quality time together once I'm past that deadline. Safe people consistently follow through on respecting your limits. They may make mistakes or slip up because even safe people are imperfect, but they take genuine accountability when they mess up and accidentally violate your limits. Genuine accountability means they apologize, they take ownership, and they make the changes they need to be respectful and safe for you. Like maybe setting their own boundaries at work or going to therapy. They're gonna do the change work necessary to be safe for you. There's no excuses when we are a safe person for someone else. We just honor them, we respect them. Unsafe people will disregard your boundaries. Of course, this may be unintentional. A person may not want to harm you and still not be safe for you. If a person has a pattern of disregarding your boundary, perhaps telling you that you're too sensitive or you're actually to blame for why they're violating your limits, this is a sign of an unsafe relationship. Another very common problem I see in the evaluation stage with the clients I work with is they'll tell someone their boundary. They'll be courageous, they'll be assertive, and that person will say that they'll respect their boundary, but then they'll only change for a week or two. At this point, many of my clients will second guess their needs, but they set this boundary for an important reason. So if you relate, it's important to not minimize your needs just because someone isn't capable or willing to meet your boundaries and to be respectful. And finally, really try not to personalize this person's unwillingness to be respectful of your boundaries because it's a reflection of their character, not your worth. Finally, if someone does show themselves to be disrespectful or untrustworthy, unsafe for you because they continuously violate your boundaries, it's really important for you to reassess your limits and adjust. Check in with your emotions again, see what you need to do next to protect yourself. For instance, you may need more distance in the relationship, to find a new job, or even to end the relationship. But it's in that evaluation stage you figure out what that next boundary is. You're not wrong for needing respect. In fact, the only way to have a fully happy life is to protect your self-respect. And you do this with having healthy, consistent boundaries. Truly, healthy boundaries are the pathway to a happy life. If you want support setting effective relationship boundaries each and every time and in any relationship or situation, I encourage you to please download the free boundary setting guide I created for you. The link is in the description. I know this practice becomes a lot more natural in time. It's a skill you're building. It's a muscle you're building. And it will become natural and intuitive, but until then, simply use this free guide every single time that you notice that you're overwhelmed or irritated or disappointed or resentful in a relationship. All these emotions are going to guide you. Oh, I need to check in to see what I need. And once you continue to use this guide, set those boundaries, you're well on your way to full, authentic confidence, and this practice will be very natural and intuitive. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to download that free guide. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe. It really does help this channel grow, and my mission is to help as many people as possible become fully empowered. Thank you, and with love, until next time.